And this here is what we had on there before. Something very much like this. Now it almost looks like if I took out this long bolt that's in the front of the water pump and swung it from that bolt, I could make that work. Now I had another piece that goes down here that you swing this by, and I had it mounted up in here somewhere off of something like that. I might want to do something like this. I also need to have something down there, and down there right about where the where that motor mount is, looks like it could be a pretty good place to put a lower bracket mount at. So I could probably, and I'm eyeballing this here, it looks like I could probably make me an angle shaped bracket sit right here with a hole in it, and I could put this bottom part of this down there. This top part, I get a longer bolt out of my water pump here. Basically what I need is a threaded rod probably, so that I could run the bolt down on that and then have enough sticking out to do something up here. That could work. And then probably also tie back to, yeah, I can make it work. So I'm just going to take it a step at a time. First step is just going to be take this bolt out and get me. So there's probably a verse in the Bible, and if there's not, there should be, but I think there is. I'd have to look it up to know for sure. That says something like, God knows your every need, anticipates your wants, needs, and desires, and is there and ready for you to help you get through your life, etc. Something like that. Anyway, I was thinking about a longer threaded rod, and I walked over to my pile of bolts over there, and this was just sitting there looking at me, and it's exactly what I was talking about. Now I hadn't even, this is the one that I was using for the starter. I had it run up in the starter with nuts on the end of it. But what I can do, see, is run this in, and then I can put a little shim in here, and then screw this down to hold the fuel pump, and then come out here with a couple of nuts and lock them onto this shaft that I was talking about coming across here, and then drop down here and come out with a piece of angle iron with a hole in a hole that I can sit the other end of this homemade bracket stuff I got here into, and then make that work just beautifully. So I might want to, once I figure out what I'm going to need, cut the end of this off. And I thought about, it'd be cool to use a piece of that rod wrist pin that I sawed that rod wrist pin in two with my grinder, and I used a little short piece inside of that piston rod that I used for my engine mount. But see, I might could take a little piece of this and put it onto here. See, that looks like that would go right down on that pump, and then come out here and put my, my bracket or something, and I could saw this down to whatever size I wanted, and that would look kind of cool. That's an option. Oh, I love the options. Oh, the joy. And what I'm doing here, I've got a water nipple that would send water to my heater core. I'm not going to be running the heater core, so if I can find the right size plug, I can just plug that off. But that being there in the way keeps me from being able to get a wrench in here to tighten this lower bolt that's on this shaft. So if I can take this out and get it out of the way, it would be an advantage to me. And I probably have a, they make a particular size plug for these kind of things, and I probably have one. Now it may be someday there will be a heater in this car, but you know, since it's a wide open car with plenty of room for air holes and stuff, it never really seemed like it would be really high on my list to put a heater in it. Because it'd be pretty hard to heat something that doesn't have a top or windows or doors or insulated floors or anything like that. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down here? On the other hand, Mike's hot rod would be a good car to put a heater in, and I've got a heater that I think it was Dead-Eye Dan that gave me, a Ford heater out there. And my thinking is that it will wind up in that car eventually. Maybe. Probably. The other thing is the Chrysler doesn't have a heater. Well, it doesn't have a heater working. It has a heater, and it's got 4 heater nipples. And I was wondering what that was all about, and some guy, there's a Chrysler page out on Facebook, and some guy said that all 4 of those are hooked up and they work. You got some kind of way that they had those things working in tandem. I think it might have two heater cores. You know, like one of them might come on sometimes, the other one might come on other times to get I don't know if it was to get an even amount of heat distributed. So I'll look through my piles of stuff, see if I can uncover a little plug for that. And in the meantime, I'll be able to tighten this bolt down here. Now what I did was I put 2 nuts on this, locked them together to screw this shaft in. And now I can I might be able to slide this up onto there. Like this. Yeah. Should be able to get a lot of traction there now. Let's see if we can locate a piece of angle iron. We could go down here for the bottom part of that. I think this might go sort of like this, or it could go sort of like this. Which is pretty close to how it was. On the other vehicle. Actually, having it up here would not be a bad thing, would it? It could be done. I could almost try to get me a couple of these nuts. Maybe a little shaft to sit in here. We'll see what I can find in my bucket pile. Oh joy. I might have said this before. Some of y'all probably already know this. I don't ever throw anything away, so I tend to have stuffage, a little bit of stuffage around here, belts and wires and things, you know, things like that. Well, that's pretty close right there, isn't it? So let's see if I can find one that's, oh, just slightly longer than that one. That looks surprisingly pretty decent there. Oh, that may be adjustable a little bit. I wonder if that'll fit that on there. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be the good Lord looking after me? Oh, thank you, Lord. Look at that. Oops. Oopsie.